Hey everyone, okay, so I may look slightly lopsided. This is a review and video on how to get the perfect eyebrow, or how to get a groomed, natural, beautiful looking brow. So let's get on with the review and then you can see the technique. So I've got lots and lots of different eyebrow products because I think that eyebrows are probably one of the most important features on your face. You can see here how an elongated and groomed eyebrow not only opens up the entire eye, but it makes the face, it gives focus to the face. If you have no eyebrows, there is no focus. So I've got a lot of brow products to choose from. So a company called Eyebrow, which they do lots and lots of gorgeous kind of eyelash tints, which are amazing. I've used them before, and lots of gorgeous lashes. They ventured out into the eyebrows, and I decided to get them all because I thought it would be interesting to review them, and I have to say they are absolutely fabulous, so I'm very pleased I did. So let me sort of show you. They've got some retractable pencils, you know, the standard kind that retract when you twist them, and there's the colours on the back of my hand, so you can see them. Now, one of the best things about them is that they range in that kind of ashy tone, because eyebrows tend to have a little bit more ash in than our natural hair colour. You know, because sometimes our hair's very warm. Normally eyebrows are a little bit more ash, so that's great. They've also got pencils, which are really, really lovely. There's 4 different colour pencils to pick from, and they're here on the kind of back of my hand, as you can see. Again, they've got that ash tone to them, which makes them look really, really natural. So, and brow powder, different shades. This is sort of for blondes, and then you sort of veer into the deeper shades here and going sort of slightly warmer depending on your eyebrow color. Then there's a powder for highlights to the sort of eye, and there's a wax in there as well, which is really, really nice. One of my favorite products happens to be the Brow Tame and Define Wax, which can be used before and after taming the brows. So that's great. You can do it first to kind of get them into shape, then put color on, then put it over if you want. There is brow taming gel. There is a nourishing oil. Really gone to town here. And then of course there is products to actually color your lashes permanently, ranging from lighter going all the way up to dark eyebrows. The best thing I can say is that I have them all, and there's not a bad one amongst the bunch, which is fabulous. And also there is brow stencils. Now I'm going to show you how to use these in a different tutorial for plucking the eyebrows rather than filling them in, because what these are great for is you can basically put them over and create the brow you want. And what I would do is fill them in with either a white pencil or a black pencil, take them away, and then pluck everything inside and outside of that line. That will then give you the perfect brow. But we're going to get on with the tutorial. So I'm going to use these products, and I'm going to do the 3-point tutorial for you, which is you place 3 dots onto the eyebrow where you want it to start, the highest point, and where you want it to end. Now, the one thing I will say about brows, particularly for daytime or just to have a natural brow, I don't have a natural arch. I have not cheated an arch here, but yet it still makes the eye look more open. If you don't have a natural arch, don't try and draw one in unless you really, really want to, because the higher up the arch goes, the more space you have to fill in with eyeshadow, assuming you use that. And one of the best things about eyebrows is, because I tend to favour eyeshadow that's pulled out, the tail of the brow is your guideline of where to put the eyeshadow, so where it will bleed out to. So if I was to do a smoky eye and pull it out, it would end right here at the tail of my brow. So I've got a guideline of when I'm blending to pull it out to. So your eyebrows are so important. So let's get on with this tutorial. You may need to increase or lower your volume depending on your monitor. Okay, let's make a start. Hey everyone, okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is apply 3 points at the start of the brow, the arch of the brow, and where I want the brow to end, the tail of the brow. And then all I'm going to do is connect these dots up. And you can see that I'm starting always above the eyebrow, because you want the bulk of everything you do to be above the brow, not below it, because we don't want to take away too much space from our eyelids where we would put our eyeshadow. So you want to connect these dots, and don't worry if it looks quite strong, because it will fade when we start to brush it. And I'm using the blonde color, which has an ash tone to it, so it's a more realistic color. So I'm just going to be continually grooming the brows with the brush as well. So what I want to do is make sure that the arch of the brow and the tail of the brow are the strongest points. And you can see that I'm not overly arching the eyebrow because there isn't a natural arch in my brow, so I don't think I should really try and put one in. I want the brows to look really groomed, but almost like they're a part of me, like I was born with those brows, as opposed to them being incredibly etched on, which is a great look if that's what you're after. So I'm going to go in with a powder now, and I'm going to take this on the outside edge of the tail and just to the arch. I just want to create a little bit more definition to this area of the face, because this is really going to help. As I'll explain, really helps when doing eyeshadow. I'm going to put a little bit of wax on now. This is just to hold them in place and to hold the colour. If your brows are very unruly, you could do this before you put the pencil or powder on to really make sure that they kind of hold on. And I'm just going to groom it back through. So you can see the difference that that brow makes, how it opens up the eye, despite the fact that it's actually a thicker brow than the other one. I'm just applying a tiny bit of eyelid primer. This is just to clarify the eyes. And I'm going to curl the lashes and apply a coat of mascara to show you how wonderful it can look by just doing your eyebrows and applying a coat of mascara. You don't need a million different eyeshadow looks to go with this. And there you'll see a completed look. Okay, and that completes the tutorial. So I'm hoping you can see really how open the eye is compared to this eye. This eyebrow is very short, it stops here. It's not been groomed, whereas we haven't really darkened the eyebrows that much, but they just stand out. And a point to remember is if you've got very fair eyebrows, you know, it's summer here and my beard's gone lighter, my eyebrows have gone lighter with it, then with very blonde eyebrows, you may want to go a shade darker, like into the sort of taupey shade, but otherwise, I think it's a good idea to go with your own hair color, your eyebrow hair color, or a shade lighter if you're going very, very dark. Otherwise, they can suddenly become too dark. It's like having the most beautiful picture and putting it in this thickest, darkest, blackest frame you've ever got. You kind of lose perspective. So always err on the side of caution with sort of brown brows to black. Go a shade lighter or exactly the same shade. Otherwise, with really fair brows, sort of mine very, very fair, particularly here, then you might want to go just a shade darker. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Remember, point 1, point 2, and where you want it to end, and then you can pull your eyeshadow out and it'll be glorious. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.